There are times in our lives when we come to a crossroads of questions and uncertainties, feeling our hearts weighed down and wondering if we're on the right path. These moments can seem dark and daunting, yet they are precisely the times that shape us, strengthen our faith, and draw us closer to God. Often, these challenges are spiritual tests designed not to overwhelm us, but to help us grow and to bring us to a deeper understanding of God's purpose in our lives. When we think of a spiritual test, it may stir up a mix of emotions, uncertainty on one hand and the promise of purpose on the other. Psalm 37 verse 5 reminds us, "Commit your way to the Lord, trust in Him, and He will act." This verse calls us to place our anxieties and doubts fully in God's hands, trusting that He has a plan and purpose for every challenge we encounter. Proverbs 3 verses 5 to 6 further encourages us to trust in the Lord with all our hearts and not to lean on our own understanding. When we place our trust in God, we allow Him to guide our steps, even when the way forward seems unclear. As you go through a spiritual test, life around you may feel like it's falling apart. Perhaps doors you hoped would open have closed, or unexpected circumstances have shaken your confidence. God allows these moments not to abandon us, but to strengthen our faith and prepare us for something greater. Every spiritual test is a chance to remember who truly holds our lives. It's a reminder to trust, even when we don't understand, and to seek Him in prayer, even when answers seem distant. God, in His infinite wisdom, knows the path we need to take, and through these experiences, we come to know Him more intimately. It's only natural to wonder why a particular challenge has come your way. Sometimes, tests appear when we feel weakened, when our hopes are fragile, or when we feel alone. It is in these moments that God calls us to look to Him, to find refuge in His Word, and to trust in His promises. He never promised us a life without difficulties, but He did promise to be with us, walking alongside us and sustaining us through each trial. Faith has the power to help us see beyond our present struggles and trust that, in some way, God is working everything for our good. Some of the greatest men and women of faith in the Bible went through significant spiritual tests. Abraham was called to sacrifice his only son, David faced the pursuit of Saul, Job endured unimaginable losses, and Paul experienced persecution and imprisonment. In each of these stories, we see that the tests were not meaningless. Each person found something far greater than themselves. They found God's faithfulness. Just as God was with them, He is with you. Every trial, every tear, every silent prayer is known by God, who hears and answers, even when those answers don't come right away. So, how do you know if you're going through a spiritual test? Many times, these tests are marked by challenges that call for patience, humility, forgiveness, or trust. It might be a season of waiting, a time when you are asked to forgive someone who has hurt you deeply, or a period in which you need to surrender something precious to God. These experiences reveal much about our hearts and how willing we are to surrender to God's will. They challenge us to let go of control and trust that God knows what is best for us. If you're feeling that your faith is being tested right now, remember that these seasons don't last forever. They're like a passing season. During this time, God is teaching, shaping, and strengthening you. It's an invitation to stand firm in faith, to seek the peace that only He can provide, and to remember that you are never alone. Jesus Himself told us that in this world we would have troubles, but He encouraged us to take heart because He has overcome the world. Just as He faced challenges and remained faithful to God's purpose, you too can rest in the certainty that God is faithful and is with you every step of the way. To conclude, know that you are on the right path by seeking to understand what God is teaching you through this season. When we face spiritual challenges, we're transformed and drawn into a closer relationship with God. He is the one who wipes away our tears, who hears our prayers, and who is always present, even on the darkest days. Trust that each step, each struggle, and each joy is part of a greater plan, one that is meant to lead you to a stronger faith and a heart closer to God. He is the author of your story, and that story is being written with love, patience, and kindness. So when the challenges seem overwhelming, remember, God is by your side. He is your rock, your fortress, and the one who sees beyond what human eyes can comprehend. Every day, He offers you a new opportunity to grow in faith, to strengthen your spirit, and to live fully in the purpose He has prepared for you. Whatever test you may be facing, know with certainty that He will never leave you. God is with you today and always.